All
How
right,
are
hello. I just revealed how I don't know how to do this.
you? You good? You're here.
I know. I need you to help. You've got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's all good. How's your day?
It's been like glorious weather for the last 2 days, so I'm so
Yeah,
grateful. It's been so hot here that waking up and it's like in the 50s and 60s. I just can't get into
yeah.
bed.
It's been very beautiful here, and it's amazing how we're having such nice weather, and California is
I know. I feel a little mean, like saying that it's nice here, because I know it's like.
right. It's completely insensitive, but it is nice.
I mean, you got to appreciate it
You do
when it happens.
because in a couple months it may not be.
Yeah, yeah. We have a decently long fall here. I got to knock on some wood, but you know, the winters are pretty mild, and we actually don't get enough snow, I think. But that's my opinion.
You can have that.
I will take your snow.
Are you originally from North Carolina?
No, I'm from Kansas City.
Okay, all right,
Yep, grew up
all right.
there. So,
Okay, so give us a short, brief introduction of who you are, where you are, what you do,
okay.
and we'll get into some questions, and then we'll get into your journey.
All right. So story of me, day one.
No, no, no.
Oh,
That's after the questions. Now, just your name, your
oh,
company, and where you are.
okay. I'm Meredith Hart, and I have my business is Meredith Hart Furniture, and based in Durham, North Carolina. Um, I share a shop here with my partner Evan Birding, who also is a woodworker. We met at North Bennett Street School in Boston. I was there from 2012 to 2014.
Okay, that's it.
Okay,
All right. Because when we get into it, you can tell the whole
got it.
deal.
Okay.
The first question is, if you had the opportunity to, would you go to the moon?
Yeah. If I knew there was like a very solid turnaround. Like,
We all would if that was the case.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I need assurance. Um, I
So,
wouldn't go to Mars. I don't feel like there's any incentive for me to do that. Also, I had no interest in doing this a space camp where they put you in the thing and like flip you around.
yeah, the simulators, right.
Yeah, I think I would be very sick. So there'd be a lot of that. But yeah, sure. We'll say yes.
Okay, so you would go with no guarantees in current scenario.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's say yes.
All right. What is your least favorite thing to do?
Oh. Clean a bathroom. Just in general. Oh. Oh gosh, there's probably a lot. I actually am constantly, even in the shop, I'm like, ugh. I have to carry a heavy board now. This is so annoying. But I like to do a lot of things too. So I guess, I don't know, go with cleaning a bathroom.
All right. What is your most favorite thing to do?
Oh, probably have ice cream.
Okay, now, does that mean you like ice cream?
Yes.
Now, are you a snobby ice cream eater, or are you just regular soft serve from a truck on a cone?
Oh yeah. No, I am. I'm a fan of all ice creams. I don't discriminate. So soft serve is great, but I can also go for some what's that fancy kind? I don't know.
Gelato,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorbets.
You know, I am not snobby in that I am less interested in the fruit kind.
So,
So yeah,
so do you go to small batch, or does that matter?
doesn't really.
Okay, so you're not ice cream snob.
No,
Okay.
I like them all.
Yeah, I worked at Four Seasons Hotel for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And when I first started, we would make ice cream every day.
Oh, wow.
And what happens when you work in a place like that is you inadvertently become familiar with the finer things in life, whether you want to or not, simply by being there.
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
And it taught me all of this wonderful stuff that I learned to love and can't afford.
Exactly. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's like, well, I want the Ben and Jerry's, but I can get this tub of the other kind the same. And that's what I'm into.
Yep, and I think the thing they would always say, and I think this actually came from the Ritz. The expression is, "We are not who we serve." So yeah, I love ice cream as well. I'm maybe more of a snob than I actually love ice cream. I mean, I eat it, I like it, but I don't do much more than vanilla.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it's not like, I'm driving around town tasting all of these new wonderful flavors.
Well, you should though, because
That's
part of your life.
That's the boring, uptight black man in me. What word or phrase do you overuse?
Oh, Evan would probably be able to tell me what he thinks. I think he's listening. He should comment.
Well, good. So I'm going to have a question for him in a couple of moments.
Okay. I don't know. I'd probably say like amazing or something like that too often. I don't know. One of those.
What is the one thing your spouse or significant other would like to change about you?
Is that the question for him?
Yes. but it's always fun when the guest answers and their other is in typing.
Oh, okay. I'm sure there's a lot, and I'm having trouble narrowing it down. I probably at the shop, he would want me to like do more, like change up, make more cookies. Well, I do that all the time.
Are you about to get into something deep and revealing?
Yeah. I mean, I will make more cookies.
If that's all it is, right?
Yeah, like happily. Yeah, I really do not like changing out like the knives, doing anything like on machines, which is basically essential to woodworking. And so he ends up doing all that, and I'm so grateful. But yeah, maybe he was being honest. But we'll stick with the cookie answer. So.
That's safe.
Yeah.
What makes you tick?
Oh, gosh, these are hard because I think these things happen and I like tick and then I move on. But I don't like loud eating. It's stupid. It's not like a good one. But
no, what makes you tick in a good way? Motivates you.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
We'll get to that. That question's coming.
Okay. Well, I think at least for work, yeah, I'm not a perfectionist, but I do tend to come up to that. I'm definitely not, but I guess it's just doing the kind of tedious work and kind of enjoying that to an extent. Not tedious and sanding, but like joining something real perfectly. I like that, but it doesn't always work out. You know. Yeah, I guess that's my answer. I don't know.
Okay. What irks you the most?
Now, are we talking in work?
No, these are all life questions.
Oh man. Okay. I need these questions beforehand.
It wouldn't be any fun.
I know. Yeah. There's like petty things like people being ridiculous in traffic. You know, racing around you just to get to the stop sign first.
Yes, just to get to the next light.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, there's bigger stuff, obviously, going on. So a lot of that. Yeah, we don't. I can't get into that, but
Okay.
yeah.
What sound makes you happy?
Oh, oh yeah. You know what? Like I was saying, it's so much cooler here these days. So waking up with the windows open and there's like birds and bugs and stuff like that's. I will totally be waking up too early to have that. Also, Christmas music.
Christmas music can be good.
I mean,
Now,
yeah.
do you listen to Christmas music all year round or just during Christmas?
No, I do hold myself to that. I wait until November.
All right.
Yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to try?
Well, I always say like working in a bakery is my backup plan, but
Cookies.
yeah, and bread. But I think I actually wouldn't like it so much. But I like to think that. Also, I would say farming or kind of homesteading is another one that I like to think I would like. But I also think I just like thinking about doing that.
Right. It's a good relief from what you're doing.
Yeah.
Something
I like
else.
that on the side, really. But
So, how long have you been baking?
oh, yeah, for a long time, since college at least. When you have a sweet tooth, it just sort of works out that way.
Or you can just eat sweets.
Yeah, but I make bread, and I've been doing that. I mean, just very basic, no knead bread. I've been doing for a long time, and it's just easy. It's so good, and it's satisfying. So that's been happening for a while.
Okay.
With my friend Jenny.
What's up, Jenny? What would you like on your tombstone?
Oh, jeez.
Question.
Yeah, really loved her dog. That's what we'll put on there. Because there she is.
She's chilling.
Yeah.
Or he.
It's a she, yeah. Yeah, that's my tombstone.
What is it about your personality that drives your business?
I would probably say that I have trouble doing just the same thing over and over. So my business tends to be custom because that's easier. It's more satisfying, I guess, even though it's also frustrating because you have to come up with something new every time, and that I will complain about that sometimes. But I also have a lot of trouble just doing like the same thing again and again. So that's probably how it kind of became this
Okay,
way.
but you bake the same bread for how long?
Like 10 years. I don't know.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah, that is fine because like there's definitely a lot of creative things you can do with bread, but
Tons.
What?
So there's so much. I was a bread nut about 10 years ago. the grain alone is enormous.
Right. Well, I think it's the scientific part of that like is intimidating to me. So I like that there's like a, there's a recipe and you just follow it and then it works. Whereas this, I'm like running my own thing and there's no recipe. So if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, maybe I would tweak stuff a little bit, but it's like, it's a lot of, like with woodworking, if you want to tweak something, you have to like start all over with a whole new thing, and thread is a little bit simpler for that. But also it's, like I said, it's my hobby and it's like food, practical. So if it works, it works, and I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I did switch. I did like join the sourdough thing recently, but now I've just been making the same sourdough over and over. It's done.
Well, that's how you master that loaf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How often do you cook bread?
Oh, every other week, probably.
Oh, so you don't cook it a lot? Or eat it a lot?
Well, we eat toast every morning, but I end up making like 3 loaves at a time.
Oh, okay, got it.
So, yeah.
Right.
And then we freeze it, so it lasts a while.
What is it about your personality that hinders your business?
That I like to go home and do other things. Yeah. Yeah, like I think, a lot of people in this work are like, I stayed at the shop until midnight and I just loved it. And I'm like, no, I'm going home. I'm doing other things. I'm going to bed, and I'm happier with that. But maybe I would have more smaller things that I could sell or stuff like that if I was more like obsessed with it. But I just like really like my job and also want to go home.
Balance is good.
Yeah, I need it. Yeah.
Yeah, most of us who work like that are crazy. There's no balance.
Yeah. I think, if that's your thing, that's good, but
it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I do it. I'm here to tell you, it's not good. You should be able to punch out, go home, and enjoy your day.
Well, so do you find yourself working late a lot?
Yeah, like 7 days a week.
Oof. Yeah, you gotta have your Sunday or something.
I try to, but it ends up being 7 days a week, something or another. And then,
yeah,
like a crazy man, I added this on, and
I know this is a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah,
it is a lot. But it doesn't seem like a lot because I had a lot going on before this. So, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of, you're doing this like 4 or 5 times a week or something, right?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, usually twice a day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no joke.
It's not. If you were to travel cross country on a motorcycle, who would it be with?
Oh, well, I mean, probably Evan. I mean, like, someone else.
Well, I mean, it could be a girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, that would be fun. I would definitely like have a sidecar and put Betty in it. She would hate it actually, but it would be so adorable. I would have fun with my mom too. She would enjoy that. I mean, I think we'd both be a little freaked out that we're on a motorcycle, but yeah. Yeah, it would be a problem.
Yeah, so Evan would be going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you and your mom close?
Yeah, very much.
When's the last time you talked to her?
Last night.
How long?
Well, we talk like once a week for like an hour, and then we'll text.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's civilized.
Yes.
Yeah. I know some people talk to mom, dad every day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
I think,
hours.
right. I think we'd both be like, this is really unnecessary. We both want to do other things. um, so she'd probably agree.
What was your favorite concert?
Oh, yeah. Oh gosh. Well, I'm just gonna say this because it's funny, but Spice Girls was my first concert. So that was awesome.
As cheesy as it was, right?
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of Gillian Welch, so her concerts are always incredible.
Okay, hold it. I need to stop you. All right.
Okay.
I need you to tell me your most favorite concert.
I know. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, okay. You jogging it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Take your time.
I know. It's yeah. I'm never good at these questions because I don't have a ranking in my head of my experiences. I feel like a lot of people do, and I don't know how they answer these questions. But I know I'm gonna think of this later and be like, that's the one. Okay, let me just. Dr. Dog was a really fun concert because they're just like so lively, and I know most of their songs. Yeah, it'll come to me, but
That's fine.
yeah.
All right. Do you have any childhood nicknames?
Yeah. A lot of people called me Mare. My friend Carolyn's on here. She Mare, Meredith, Dotes. Yeah, when I got to college, a lot of people didn't know how to spell my name, so someone spelled my name Meredeath. So I was called Death for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you cried?
Oh, watching a TV show the other day.
What was it?
Well, this is really silly. It's called Pen 15, and it's about these girls in middle school, and it's like mostly silly, but then like serious stuff happens, and I was really surprised that I was crying. It's like, what? This is not what this is for. This is escapism.
What impact do you want to leave on your industry?
On the industry?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to do work we're all trying to do work that like lasts, both, as a physical object, but also as a design, because there is stuff that some would consider timeless, out there, and I don't think I've achieved that necessarily, but that's kind of the goal, is to create something that people will like, in like 50 or 70 years or whatever, that isn't like too much of an era, and I'm sure that my stuff is still, but I'm trying to think about the work as, not just of its time so much, but like could be appreciated, by a whole bunch of different people and for various reasons. It's kind of like the impossible, but
Yeah. Do you feel a lot of pressure wanting to do that?
I think I probably do. I mean, I try not to let myself get too swept up in pressure about that, but every time I have a new project, I'm like, oh God, like I'm not gonna think of anything that's interesting, or it's gonna look like everything else, or it's like, just kind of, what's the word? But just too normal looking, or like not interesting, or you know, it's like you could put a name on it of like a style, and I'm kind of trying. So I think I feel that pressure to like do something interesting, but not be beholden to a style.
Right. With my personality, right? You seem to have a balance between where you want variety, creativity, something different, and then the other side, you're okay with a constant, i.e. the bread. And I think, as you were doing, I think as I'm talking about this, I'm about to move away from what I thought my opinion was. But for lack of a better word, scatterbrain.
Say that again?
Scatterbrain.
Oh, yeah.
Or I like a particular kind of thing, a kind of way. And that kind of transcends to all parts of my life, which is probably not healthy. Like when I baked bread, I collected mixers. I still have a collection of mixers.
Oh, yeah.
I milled my own flour.
Oh, my God.
I had a bunch of grains, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
And the same thing with what I'm doing now, the furniture, the wood, you know, so many different species of it's the wood, all the machinery. And I keep thinking about your creative process and then being okay with baking the same bread. And I'm like, it's probably the better way to be. But because of the way my brain thinks, that's strange to me.
Yeah. I think the way that works for me is that because I have this job where that uses up all my energy, like that's where all that has to go. If I have to come home and then also like try to tweak this thing or like add in these special things,
Right.
it's like you're constantly doing that, and I just need a mental break. Like I need
I just solved my problem.
Yeah, I mean that's like actually something gets done and like works. Whereas like there's a lot of mystery in this work that we do because you're always kind of like, I hope this is good, or
Right.
or you know, like is the client gonna like this, or maybe I should have made that different. It's like I mean, I really do, because I kind of have to contradict what I said earlier. I do sometimes like making the same thing, but usually just like maybe next year I'll make the same thing again. But it's like I need time in between to have the like creative part, but then like give my brain a break to make something I know how to make. So I like variety, but I also like the rest in something I know how to do.
I'm with you. It's good.
Yeah. Well,
to be at peace and just bake bread and eat bread and be done with it.
Exactly.
When was the most difficult time for your business, and how did you overcome it?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I would probably, aside from the beginning, which is hard because you don't have any clients and kind of working your way up, but I would say I had a part-time job for a while. A couple years ago, it was 2 days a week, and it was a good job, and it was paid pretty well for this industry. And it was kind of nice because I was able to just like put boards through the saw and like glue them up and like listen to music. So I was doing that, but it was like really hard for me to come back and then do my real work because there'd been like 4 days had passed since I'd done it. So I eventually decided I had to stop that and just like go all in on my business. And that like sudden loss of even the little bit of income I was getting from that was really tough. Like I actually was like, oh, this is not good. So I go back. So there was a time there where it was sort of like, I need more work, but I don't have as much time, and or you know, I have time, but you can't like work and not sleep, or it's not advised.
Right. Especially with
So
machinery.
yeah, so and then I was doing shows, which I've never really been successful at shows. I think I don't think my work's conducive to it, or I don't know what it is, but
What shows would you do?
I've done the Philadelphia Furniture Show. That one's actually, I think they're just stopping that altogether now, but I did that, and I did one in High Point, and then I've had stuff in galleries. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think those are the main ones, but yeah, they've just never really worked for me. So, but I tried them, and you end up spending a lot of money to get in them. Um, so
In
like that
time.
was not helpful. Yeah, and you spend like I'd spend a month, and so I don't know.
So so that's why you didn't do well there.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I mean, the good thing about them was that I did make a bunch of stuff that I wanted to make, and then I was able to like add to my portfolio. But I didn't, you know, I might actually sell stuff a year later. That would happen occasionally, but in the moment, you're like, I just really, for morale's sake, if nothing else, I want to sell something at this, and then like someone comes by and they're like, I'll just come back and buy it later, and then they never do because you know that's how things work. I've been to shows where you're like, cool stuff, I'll come back, and then you know run away. So it was definitely, I don't, it's just not my thing. I mean, I might do them again, but it takes a lot of energy, and I like being in my little cave working.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it requires a lot. When I first started, I used to do the flea market here, the Brooklyn Flea, which was a huge market, but still going every weekend. I mean, we would sell stuff. It's just a lot.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot.
it is. Yeah, it's a lot of time. You have to set up and think about all that, and like buy this, you know, curtains and you know all that kind of stuff.
Your booth has got to be nice.
What's that?
So your booth has to be nice.
Yeah, right. And you know, we would go up to Philadelphia, so we had to like rent a van and pack up all these things, and you know, hope
Got to stay
nothing bad
somewhere.
happens. Yeah, it really ends up being very expensive.
Yeah.
And some people that really works for their business, and that's great because it must. I mean, for someone. But there's my friend Jesse.
What's up, Jesse? Do you have any black friends?
You know, it's. I hate to say it, but not really, not a lot. A few, but it's yeah. I know it's awful. It's been one of those things.
Okay, well let me say, it's not awful because let me hear me out.
Okay.
Because you are a product of your environment, meaning your surroundings where you are.
Yeah.
Now, there are people, we kind of like to surround ourselves in our comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think America's biggest fear, and I'm not the first to say this, but America's biggest fear is being inconvenienced.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything outside of that is bothersome to us. And that's across the board. And let me give you an example. The people fighting about wearing a mask.
Oh, God.
That's mostly white people.
Right.
We were doing a protest. We were doing a bike ride protest for Black lives in Black neighborhoods. And some of the Black people did not want to wait until the protest passed.
To do what?
To go across the street. So we stopped the traffic while the bike riders would pass, and all they had to do was wait. And some people got out of their car and wanted to fight. So I'm arguing with a Black guy about a protest about police brutality against black people.
Right.
But he did not want to be inconvenienced and wait. And it's just and that's America. We like what we like, and we don't want anything else to get in the way of what makes us happy, our joy, of what we want to do.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
so with you not having many black friends, it's just not, maybe the effort isn't put in there. And that's the reason why I asked the question, because I think in order for us to really change the dynamic between the differences, which aren't really differences, is actually getting to know someone that doesn't look like you.
Right.
And when you develop friendships, you care. And when you care, you become compassionate. You sympathize. You understand.
Yeah.
You listen. So that's where that question comes from. It's just a question.
Oh,
And
no.
I've told people since I've been woodworking, most of my friends have been white. So that same question would have been for me. And this is the last 14 years. Most of the friends that I've gained have all been white men.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of this, there's so many factors. You know, there is like personal responsibility. I could, you know, go out there and try to make more friends, people of color. But it is true, like, there's also a systemic, I mean, we all been learning about this. Like, I grew up in a neighborhood that was mostly white, and my school was probably 95% white. I went to college in Minnesota, which is, you know, has, you know, all colors and you know, people from all different places, but it's also very segregated.
Yep.
So like, and then the university, I think, is mostly white. And then it's just, yeah, you kind of, people do self-segregate because it's kind of what we're used to. And I, you know, these days I've been thinking about that. It's like, yeah. But what, I'm into the movement and I'm all for it. And then I think about myself and like, but I'm not, but I'm also part of the problem. And then I think about this work that we do, and we've kind of just like assumed it's for white men and older white men especially. It's like, but why? You know, there's nothing inherent to make it that those would be the people who only want to do this work. And like, especially also with women, like, it's not like you have to be some like lumberjack to, you know, you're a lumberjack, but
But no, you don't.
you don't. I mean, you have to be able to pick up some heavy stuff occasionally, but you just get help if you need it. And like, there's nothing, you know, I guess there's an ableism there, but as long as, you know, you can do it and you can figure it out, it's a creative type of work that also has this, you know, art and craft component that so many people are made for, you know, who would be
Exactly.
amazing at it. And like,
Yep.
who's out there that would be like the next great that doesn't have the opportunity? So,
Well, let me just tell you, and I agree with what you're saying, and we're going to go to the next question that's similar, but America's only true art form came from black people, and that's jazz.
and that's what?
Jazz.
Jazz. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jazz music. That's America's only true art form that we've contributed to that is jazz music. So the next question is, do you often see people of color in your industry? And we just answered that no, but to the point, the statement you just made is, who knows what's out there?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shop class was very typical in a lot of schools. And then, like, you know, you get into school funding and all that. But it's just a really practical skill. And there's a lot of talent that's, you know, just not being discovered, I think.
Yeah, access and opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've made the effort to try and train and introduce um, young brothers into this industry, and it's not easy because it needs to be funded. And I have a job shop. You know, we get a job, do the job, get it out. Someone comes in and they don't know. I don't have the time.
I know. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you have to have, or at least the way that it's worked so far, is like you have to have enough capital to support the overhead to start. Like tools, you have all these tools that are expensive, and you have to be able to find them and know how to fix them, and then like have space. Like it takes a lot of space, and so there's a lot of prohibitive factors that, you know, like I have like a nice safety net if anything were to happen. Whereas like this is a scary industry to just jump into, because also you have to find clients, and if there's, you know, there's bias and there's
and you have to keep finding clients.
yeah, yeah.
And
Unless
keep
you can
finding
find
clients.
that one. but yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think about that too. It's like, and also like the fact that Evan and I do this together, like we're kind of in it as a team.
It's comforting.
Really helpful, yeah, because one of us will be struggling through a project or whatever, and the other person kind of like, we can talk each other through it, or like think about like, oh, what should I price this for, or this person's telling me this, should I be like, no, it's this is why the cost is that, or you kind of need that support system.
This no, well, 100%, and I think especially with so many people being solo in the industry and not necessarily having a reference or similar background to reference from. So everyone is kind of, as many of us that are there out there doing this, everyone is kind of, in some form or another, winging some part of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you have to basically know how to do everything. You know,
Yes.
like it's not just woodworking, and that's most businesses, but like you can be really good at a skill set, but you need the business side, or you can be a decent business person, but you got to have the skill set. And it takes a lot of education and trial and error, and you know, yeah, there's a lot of winging it.
Yeah, we all are, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, like seriously, from the beginning, it's like I don't know how to get a client. I don't know how to price anything or find materials, and yeah,
it's like how do you price your work? How much should you be paid an hour? What's your hourly rate?
Yeah.
And then even when you do that and you price it out, you ain't making no money.
I know. I mean, I don't really try to count my hours because I don't want to know. But you know, then again, there's all the soft benefits. You know, if you can make enough to like cover what you need to cover, you also have all this extra. You have time. You have like flexibility. So there's a lot of great things about it, but it's a scary existence in some ways because, you know.
Every day we're hustling.
Yeah, that's right.
Which really is the essence of the conversations, is although we may be different, we may be doing different things, the process is pretty darn similar.
Yeah.
And it's trying to make it work.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, last question before we get into your journey. Who would you most like to have a conversation with?
In the world?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, this is another one I need to think about. Who? Uh, how about? This is so hard. Like there's probably like a lot.
If you give, let me tell you, if you give the wrong answer, I'm gonna call you on it. But go ahead.
Okay, so there's a right answer.
No, whatever you want.
No. I know. Yeah, I guess like this is ridiculous. I was gonna say like an animal, because people are generally this. We're all like trying to do the same thing, even across all cultures, and I guess animals too. But like I don't know, just have a conversation with someone like you can't communicate with, and just I guess that's kind of silly, but that's I think that would be fun for me.
Okay. All right. So are you okay? We're done with the questions. I just have another question.
Okay.
I don't get, and I could be wrong. I'm just we're talking. I don't get from you, and you're about to explain it to me, that you would. Okay, let me ask the question. If you had a shop and you could have 3 employees, would you make an effort to make sure they were all women?
I don't know if I would necessarily require that they're all women, but I would try to bring in women for sure, because there's a lack of opportunity there generally. But I don't think I would just be like, it's this or no one, because I'm not trying to like push men down. It's just, but yeah, I don't know if I would feel the need to be like that. But I already know there's one woman in this area who would like to learn, and she would be a great person for that. And I don't know how I'd even go about finding people, honestly, but I guess put up an ad.
so this one woman that wants to learn, what's your relationship with her?
She just found me. She's, I think, furloughed and doesn't actually have woodworking experience, but she lives around here, and she thought it was cool that I was a woman doing this work, and was like, I'll just hang out and watch. So she was very enthusiastic and like really interested in learning, and I think that's probably the main thing.
Yep, enthusiasm is probably the main thing.
Yeah, for sure. And like attention to detail. You got to be very careful, I think, with employees on this stuff. I don't think I'm going to be a boss, really. I don't think I have that in me, because you have to like keep people busy, for one.
Well, you got Evan. What do you mean you're not a boss?
Okay, good point. Yeah, get to work. Yeah, but so I don't want to make any claims about what I would do, but yeah, I mean, ideally give opportunities to people who need them.
Evan says he needs a raise.
Yeah. We'll see next time we have a
for your review.
Yeah, review.
Because I feel, and I felt pressure to employ more Black people.
Yeah. And
sometimes it's a lot more difficult than just, I'm going to hire some more Black people.
Right.
It's go back to what we said before. There needs to be training. there needs to be education, there needs to be funding, and the people have to want to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you can find someone.
Yes, and you know, depending on what it is they're capable of doing, you know, I mean, how long does it take to really train them? Because if you're doing custom work, every job is different.
Right. Yeah.
And we learn from repetition.
Definitely. And like, there's always going to be mistakes. Like, I am fine if it's me making the mistake, then I'm only like having to be dealing with me. But everyone's going to make a mistake, so then you have to deal with that. And like, you know, it's not a business where you're just like rolling in the dough. So,
Unfortunately.
What's that?
I said, unfortunately, we're not rolling in the dough.
Right. Well, there would be a lot more people in it if that were the case.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like the capabilities are equal, and then it is just access. Maybe if there was like a grant program or something where it's like take someone under your wing or whatever, that'd be one way to do that. But
yeah, it would. It would.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we are. We're at 10:53, which gives us 7 minutes before Instagram cuts us off.
Oh, okay.
Now, we obviously got to go into the second hour. You have time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because it looked like you don't have anything else to do. So what I would like to do is we get off and get back on, so that way we're not 7 minutes into your journey and Instagram cuts us off.
Smart. Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So to everyone that's there, thank you. We hope you come back. We're going to get off and start the clock again, and we'll get into her journey and a shop tour.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Okay.
So thank you. Be right back.
All right.
So we're waiting on Meredith to come back in. Hello.
Yeah, it probably is our internet. It's like the one time it's not working. It's very, very annoying.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm on cell service, and it seems to be.
Yeah, that worked earlier. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's just when I go in the building, it's a little weird. So.
All right.
But I can try again.
Well, let's go through your story now, and when it's time for the tour, we're going.
Okay. So I think I was in college when we left off. Yeah. So after that, I I went to work on a farm. So I kind of did the thing that some people do in their early 20s. So I worked on a farm in Virginia, and it was CSA farm. So it's like growing vegetables for kind of subscription type service. And then there were like some small building projects on that, which was fun, kind of like a little different. And that kind of kept me in that world. So after that, I ended up going to Vermont. Have you heard of Yes Tomorrow Design Build School?
Maybe.
It's just a small nonprofit school that has like classes in timber framing and permaculture and like straw bale building and furniture, all that like stuff. And I really liked the kind of timber framing and that kind of stuff, but it was just like, practically speaking, not great for me because I'm kind of small. Like, you have to work outside and in the heat or in the cold, so that's just what didn't make any sense. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna set myself up for that.
I'm with you. I went to Oregon to do a timber frame workshop.
Nice.
And it was Go Beach, so it was out on the coast.
Cool.
So yeah, that was nice. We camped out.
Wow.
Did some cutting joints. There was a sawmill on site. And this is maybe 17, 16 years ago?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe 17 years ago. And I thought it was all cool. You know what it was? I remember being there and Rick James dying.
Oh, no, that's
So,
not good.
yeah, I don't know if you know who Rick James is, but that's where I was when I found out that Rick James died.
Hmm.
And Timber
Kind
framing
of
is it's a bit much.
Yeah. Yeah, those things can kind of cloud an experience that's like unrelated, and then it like stays in the memory.
Yeah, if you're not persistent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, did you enjoy learning that?
I did. I did. It was a lot to just jump on and start working.
Yeah.
And try to say unity. Yeah, there is something about the teamwork of everyone getting them to build a timber frame. But it was just a lot for me because I had a curiosity about woodworking, about wood, and about timber framing, but I didn't have any reference to anything.
Oh, okay. So this was before you were doing that.
Yes.
Work. Oh,
yep.
wow.
So when I jumped out there, and it was so much to take in.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Sure. And after that, I became really intrigued with wood and old timbers and old bournes. So that's how the love of the wood thing came in.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, those structures are just so beautiful, and like the fact that that old technology is still very relevant and useful. I think it's really intriguing for a lot of people. And that was the same for me, and like furniture is like small timber framing a lot of the time. So that's kind of how I moved into furniture more than, structures. But it's the same joints for the most part. It's just more manageable.
Right. Okay. So what city are you in now? After you left the farm, you went to
Vermont, and then after that,
okay, yeah, right. Okay,
from there
after
I went to Boston.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you're in Boston. You meet Evan. You're working. What are you thinking while you're in school? I'm sorry?
Sorry, there's a mosquito on my forehead, and I saw it in the video. Go on. I just have to slap myself.
When you're in school, you learn this new skill. You're getting better at this new skill. You meet this guy. What's going on in your head?
Well, I was learning this thing, and I was just, for one, really grateful that I was liking it, because up until that time I tried a lot of stuff, and I was like, am I never going to find the thing that I could do for a really long time? I think a lot of people probably feel that way, because you're supposed to just know, when you're 18 and sign up for a major.
Yeah, that's what they tell us.
Yeah, I know, and it's not the case for, I think, a lot of people. So I was relieved, for one, that I was really enjoying it, and I enjoyed being in the city. So it was just it was a fun time in my life. And then when I met Evan, I was like, okay, this is a distraction. This is not what I'm here for, but dang it, this is what we're gonna do. And it was really fun, because it did feel like we could understand that we both wanted to be there a lot. So it was nice, because you're dating someone, and then you also get to just they get. So it was exciting in that way. Yeah. And it felt like a little less intimidating to consider moving somewhere together and starting independent businesses. I didn't feel like, I think if it was just me, I would have had to go work for someone, because there's This is a
Right.
mustache. Um,
So
yeah.
how did you decide North Carolina?
Oh, Evan's sister lives here, so that was like the main thing. But we also like Boston is a good place because there's a lot of potential clients, but there's also a ton of woodworkers. So you're kind of it kind of evens itself out. But we came here because it's cheaper to live for the most part. But there's also a lot of people. There's a lot of industry, a lot of like potential clients who could afford the work. To be honest, so that was kind of the calculation. Like we're close to family, and we were able to potentially afford a space to work and also places to live, and then like a lot of variety of people that could potentially be clients. So that was, and it's pretty much worked out in that way.
How long have you been there?
Since 2014.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So initially, you all started in a shared shop,
Yeah.
and you were in a shared shop for 2 years
Yeah.
until you were able to grow your brand and get your current shop, which is how big?
2,000 square feet.
All right, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's perfect for two people, I would say. We have like our little bench room, and that's probably 500 square feet, and then the rest is all shop, and like and wood storage and finished product storage, stuff like that. So yeah, it works out really well. The shared shop was a great experience because your overhead is low. We were able to buy machines one by one and fix them up, and like work on finding clients and creating like the basic business uh, infrastructure. So I think that's the way to go if you can find one, because it's a way to ease into it without just like
Yeah,
you know
otherwise it's
gambling.
very expensive.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a lot to manage. I mean, even when I had 3 years ago, I had a fire,
yeah.
and
I read about that.
I was able to get out 4 or 5 machines after having a full shop
Wow.
because of the building. And even pulling out those 4 or 5 machines, uh, planer, jointer, table saw, bandsaw,
Hmm.
and even just running into a shop with those, getting them wired up was a lot.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. There's a lot of
it's
expenses
yeah,
you don't know about. Yeah.
there's a lot. When I moved into my current shop, there was 60 amps of electricity that was 3 phase, and it was the original wire from the early 1900s.
Oh.
So when you went to grab it, all of the stuff, the wrapping of it came off. So it was too frail to use.
Oh yeah.
So Con Edison brought 200 amps to the building, but they didn't bring it in the building.
Oh God.
And you have to hire an electrician to get it in the building.
And that's like
And
some stupid expense, probably.
yeah,
Like,
$14K.
what?
Just to bring it inside and,
Oh my
and
God.
put it on a small box. And Meredith,
Wow.
let me tell you, I asked a Jamaican, I asked a regular white man, and I asked an Irish man. And all three of them said $1,400. I'm like, what company do you? I thought it was the same company. Just sending out different people, but they were all different companies.
Huh.
So once they kept telling me that number, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I guess you guys aren't lying. Or you've all gotten together and
Exactly.
yeah, that stuff that's one of the things you can kind of forget about. Like, oh, we have all these, annoying startup expenses that aren't flashy at all. It's not
exactly,
a
but are very necessary.
Yeah, very basic stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is helpful to ease into this kind of thing because especially if you don't know if you're in a place where it's going to work, like, with clientele and having enough, if there's not enough materials around, or, sourcing is hard. So
Everything. Yeah. I have to move my yard, and that alone
oof,
is, yeah.
that's overwhelming.
It's so much. And, and the thing is, you have to do this while you're working.
Right.
You can't stop working to turn into a moving company.
Oh, well, where are you going?
I'm going 60 miles up the road to a much better location.
Oh, cool.
It's bigger. It's laid out better. It's kind of designed to do what I want to do.
Nice.
And it's the surrounding area is beautiful. There's no neighbors.
Mm.
It's a nice big piece of land. There's a pond in the back. It's ridiculous.
Ooh. Are you gonna live there too?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to live there.
Yeah. No living at work.
Well, let me tell you, I would.
Yeah.
I just think I'm more of a loner.
Mm-hmm.
And this place is out there. And I have a place in upstate New York where I would go for the weekend and be alone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Until, every weekend you're always alone.
Right.
And, I always opt to be alone, but sometimes it's a bit too much.
Oh, I'm the same way. I mean, this pandemic is not, as far as like social life goes, it's not been hard for me until
Same
recently
here.
when I was like, this is okay, like a little too much. I think I actually
Exactly.
need people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally hear that. I think that's part of the reason I like that we have a shop in town and we kind of live in a neighborhood. Is like we could, try to work toward having like a house with a shop in the back. And that's usually farther out. You have to be farther out of the city. And then, like, we would never leave,
You're right. You would.
Yeah, it would be like hard to just casually see another person. So you get kind of secluded pretty fast.
Yep. Yeah. When I worked at the hotel, I see people all the time. I worked in a bar. I left that. I mean, I see people here, but it's different.
Because they're your employees, or?
Well, no, with the clients.
Oh, yeah.
Drop in, do it, see you later. So there's no real interaction other than the business transaction.
Right, totally.
So there's something that needs to be managed.
Right. I know.
I
mean, you're doing it by doing these.
Yeah, that's true. And as you know, this is a lonely, it's a lonely atmosphere.
It is. I mean, I think that's part of us working as a couple. It's like we're alone together in a non-sad way. But like, it is nice because I'm definitely an introvert, and so I don't need a ton of people around, but you got to have people around to be less insane.
And he's a sweet. He goes, his shop is in his house, no reason to leave. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. It makes you crazy. and do you know him, Meredith?
No.
Snickery? He has some tools. He has vintage machines, and they're all from the same period.
Whoa.
Pre-1900.
What? Yeah,
you need to check him out. He's bananas.
Yeah, they're probably beautiful.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. So you all move into your shop, you get to working, and how did you go about finding clients?
Yeah, so I try to like think about that too, because there wasn't like one way I did it. It was kind of organic. So I was on custom made, so I got like one or two through that. There were other people in the shop who did cabinets, and so if there was some sort of furniture-esque type job they got, they'd pass that on. That was one way to do it. Eventually, or one of their like clients who were having their kitchen made also wanted a table or something, and so you kind of get introduced that way. So it's been a slow build up for that. But then, honestly, a lot of people find me through my website. So that actually has worked pretty well. I think North Carolina is known for being a furniture state. So I think people kind of associate that with us. But it's like totally different than what the type of furniture North Carolina is known for, which is like manufactured. But it works to our advantage.
Right.
Because I mean, people from New York City have found us, and I'm like, why? That's great, but I don't know how you found me. Like, but I do think people might just be like, oh, North Carolina, that's a place for this stuff.
Right. Furniture manufacturing.
Yeah. So, and like I said, we've both done shows and gotten some clients out of that, and some gallery work too. So it's, yeah, I have not found that there's like one way to do it. It's really spread it net.
In the industry, who's your favorite female woodworker?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was, you put that group of women together on Instagram, and there's one woman who does these incredible turnings, Leo in the Woods. Those are so amazing, and she also incorporates basket weaving into those. It's just like interesting and but like classic, but also really innovative, and like exquisitely done.
Yes, Tokamoto is I think her name.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's cool people.
Yeah, and I really love Leslie Wood or Leslie.
Leslie Webb.
Leslie Webb, yeah. Sorry, I know her name. Blanking. That rocking chair's amazing.
I got to get her on here.
Yeah, for sure. She's really cool. She actually came through our shop once. And Heidi Martin, I like her stuff too. Really beautiful. A lot of like woven things incorporated too. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I could probably go on, but I'd have to look up names.
What have you not done yet in the industry that you'd like to do?
I kind of go back and forth on this, but I haven't really done much teaching. And maybe you're talking about projects, but
the teaching's fine.
Yeah, I am going to probably do that next year at Mark Adams. It's still being worked out. And it's kind of like one of those things that's pretty intimidating to me. But it does seem like a good thing to do. So you also learn a little more about the work as you're doing it, and then getting to pass on some of the stuff I know how to do. It's a good way to make income too. But yeah, I guess that's probably the next thing I should try.
Okay. What do you find to be the most challenging thing about this?
The business stuff.
So who takes care of the business stuff?
Well, we do our own.
Okay.
Between the two of us, yeah. Which is kind of one of those things that we've built in that makes it easier to be a couple in this together. But I'm probably more on top of it on it. But yeah, so it's really like pricing. I find that super hard.
It is.
Yeah, I've been trying to, you try to like raise your prices or like, get into the place you want to be, but then someone comes along and you're like, well, I really want to do this project, so maybe it's this, and it's hard, but it's getting a little easier, and I feel like it's more fair these days. So that's all I'm trying to do is, be fairly paid and get out some cool stuff. So.
Right. Are there any other types of things products you want to introduce into your brand, or you just want to stick with furniture?
I would say the other thing would be just more like lighting, some like lamps and stuff like that. It's something I've gotten into, and it's a little easier, a little quicker to make, and then you can do a lot of interesting things. It's a matter of taking the time to make something that's not been commissioned.
Yep.
That I struggle with, but yeah, I think those are fun to make and quick. And
now, would these be done through the lathe or flat work?
Or what?
Just regular furniture.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
it be flat work or turned?
Oh, yeah, both. Yeah, they've often been turned, but I've also worked with like making these like tripod lamps that, you know, that's a form that you've probably seen, but I kind of like to mess with it and make it my own. So that's kind of what I'm working toward, and things that are maybe a little less, or like not like prohibitive cost wise. So that's
Right.
something that's like a little more maybe accessible and fun for me. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Where would you like to be a year from now?
Well, if we're talking business and not
Yes.
the whole world, yeah, I think I would like to just be a little more confident in what I have here. I feel like I'm working toward that. I have been working more toward more balance because, like we said, you know, I do like to leave work at a reasonable time, and you know, I'd like to have another like 2-day weekend. uh,
So now you
that's
work
fun.
6 days a week.
Yeah.
How many hours a day?
It's not crazy. Maybe 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, do you take an hour for a break or 30 minutes?
It's probably like 15 minutes.
So just enough to eat.
Yeah, we sit outside and we throw the frisbee for the dog. And you know, I'm not gonna say I'm like constantly just hammering away in the workplace. It's like there's when you work for yourself, you gotta, you know, keep yourself on task, and I don't necessarily always keep that, but maybe no one's great with that anyway. But yeah, I don't think it's insane work day, but it's plenty.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, you want to try a shop tour?
Let's try it. Yeah, and so
right.
if it cuts out, what do you want to do?
If it cuts out, don't stop it. I'll stop it and I'll be in there.
Okay. Okay, well.
Let's do it.
I'll just say now then, thank you for this. It was really fun. You asked a lot of good questions, things I need to be thinking about anyway. So.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, and we'll do our best.
David Duyard told me about you.
Oh, nice. Oh, he's so nice.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He is. Yeah, we actually have one of his rocking chairs. We did a little exchange, so got an original. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna turn it around, I guess.
There you go.
There's Betty.
All Betty does is chill.
Seriously, yeah, she does. So here's our bench room.
Who's
so
that guy that keeps popping up?
I know, he's always around. It's really a lot. That's his space. So here's the rest of the shop. So this is all ours. We rent this space from our landlord, who has a bigger shop next through that wall.
Okay.
But yeah, we have like a small slider, a pretty decent lathe there. One of those guys.
How long have you had that one?
Oh, the Hammond, I think a year and a half, maybe.
Okay. So why didn't you all post for the mass shop tour?
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I saw that happening and I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. But like I said, machines and me, it's a working relationship.
Well, look at that baby.
Yeah, so this is the first one that we really restored. It had been sitting outside in the rain for a year. And it was so rusty and the top wheel was off and it was like absolutely stuck on the shaft. So we had to, oh God, we went through this whole thing getting it off, which was basically impossible. And then we actually had to get a new wheel because it got dented and it was out of true. So that was a big, terrible time. But we eventually got it and painted it and it works like a charm.
Wow. What kind is that?
Tanowitz.
Yes. Angarai Snicker said that looked like something he'd have. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And they didn't post for the shop tour.
And then posted on there, yeah. I think it's from the 30s or 40s. I'm not.
Look at you with all this old machinery.
Right. Well, this is Evan's thing, like we said. He likes it, and I appreciate that he likes it. So this is a 12-inch.
Look like 16 to 20.
Right. I think it's that 16. This is a Yates American. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I got.
And then so is the planer.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is nice. Yeah, and then over here it's kind of messy right now. But this is like wood storage. We have a place to do photographs back there. Yeah, we're very lucky. Evan's sister's a photographer, and
Very nice.
She'd rather photograph people, but we make her photograph inanimate objects too. So.
Where do you want to get your wood from?
Usually Irian lumber in Pennsylvania. And then also there's some places near here that are like, we get our poplar and maple and beech and stuff like that. Yeah, the walnut around here is not amazing. And I feel like the cherry isn't either. It's fine, but we're like kind of picky. So.
You have to be.
Yeah, and I've gotten from Groff too, which is also Pennsylvania. I think they just have nice stuff there, but
that's a long way.
Yeah, we have it shipped, so it takes away the time of picking, but also you don't get to pick.
So you don't have. There's no local sawyers with sawmills cutting in their backyards. Those kind of dudes. There
are, yeah. And we could explore that more, but
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there are definitely, and there's a guy I went and got some sycamore from recently, and he's got a lot of, he specializes in quartered oak, so that's a useful one. Like you kind of, depending on the project, go to different places. So, yeah.
There's a guy. You're in Durham?
Yeah.
It's Durham, Raleigh, right?
Yeah.
There's a guy, Steve Miller, Nature's One Turning, who's in North Carolina, who says he gets a ton of wood.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can connect you all.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And he says that he gets lots of good stuff. So we'll see. But he turned, so I don't know if he knows a sawyer. But we'll explore that.
Okay, that sounds good.
David Stein says it's the 20th Georgia. He has the same one. Kevin, she's in North Carolina. They left Boston.
Right. Yeah, we got all our machines down here. Yeah. Although we did have some shipped from other places.
I've done it.
Yeah, it's scary. I didn't like that.
Because you need a forklift. It's the logistics are so crazy.
Yeah, you got to pay for shipping, and then like you got to hope people do the right thing on their end, and also it's like sight unseen, which we had a little issue with with our last slider. So we've ended up with this one, which is really nice, that we got locally. But yeah, like that person said, NC has all the big equipment. It's true. There's a lot of good stuff around here from those old shops. So
Yeah, yep. They come up a lot in auctions.
yeah.
And David Stein knows he's an old machine guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Evan keeps a Craigslist. Like they can like give you a email if there's something that comes up. So he's on it.
Yeah. So it's a good thing to do. You get great machinery. You don't pay a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, we've also like clamps and things like that. We've gotten that way too. So you never know.
Yep.
Oh.
Show us all your favorite hand tools.
Oh, okay. Here, let's look at my tool wall.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't go crazy having tons of hand planes. I just have the ones I like. Fewer things to sharpen. I really love this number 5, the Stanley. And then the number 4, those are like basically the ones I use. It's enormous and really heavy, and you can see how dusty it is. And then that nice little block plane. Chisels. Yeah, this is kind of it. My collection of ugly spoons. So, got to keep it organized.
Yep, very nice.
Yeah, those were similarly collected over time, for whatever I need.
Are there any hand tools that you're looking to acquire, on the lookout for?
What? Sorry, went frozen for a second.
Are there any hand tools that you're on the lookout for?
Am I on the lookout for anything, Evan? Evan. Headphones are on. Hello. Am I on the lookout for any hand tools? Yeah. I don't really, like I said, I don't really think about that too much. Just if I have what I need. And at this point I do. I have a good spoke shave. I don't feel the need to get like multiples. My saws could be sharper. But yeah, no, I feel like I'm pretty good at this point.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. This has been absolutely amazing. I appreciate it.
Went frozen for a second again. Been absolutely
I
something.
see you.
Yeah. It's been really great.
Thank you. Yep, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Amazing story and journey. And amazing furniture as well.
Yeah, chatting with you. Yeah, well, we're in and out
Thank
here.
It's been a pleasure. Yep.
Yeah.
And best of luck to you.
Thanks. You too. Yeah, and good luck in the move.
Thank you. We're going to need it.
Yeah.
All right. And thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
Signing off.
Bye.
Bye-bye.